Hello, hello, hello everyone! Welcome back to the final video of building this thing. And this video will tackle all of this common stuff from the house and, way more importantly, all of this big, beautiful, ginormous building. But let's start with the easy things. How does the hallway look? All the buildings often have like pretty tiles. I may like this, but I need to figure out something about that part, and I need to change the stairs. That's better, and we can figure out what to do with that weird thing. A platform and then plants? Why are you suddenly so dark? Never mind that idea then. We'll figure it out. First of all, mailboxes. And I think I want something for the wall. I think what I'm envisioning is the debug thing from San Mishuno. There we go. That's what I was thinking about. Like the pinboard behind glass. This is supposed to be autumn themed, but I just think it goes well with the space. I mean, it's only a tiny little bit sad. Maybe if you don't tell on me, then I just have the pot flying. You just gotta play with walls up, but I recommend that anyway. It's better when I make it yellow. It blends more. I don't actually think I'm gonna decorate the walls in any of the hallway sections. Well, aside from this thing here. Because I think most hallways aren't actually all that decorated. And now to the exciting parts. The apartment. Now, when I layouted this, I had something in mind. However, I've forgotten what I had in mind. I think I was gonna have a big open living space, one bathroom, one bedroom, and one office space. Now I'm thinking, how about we have 2 bedrooms because it's a roommate situation. It's slightly unfair how this is parted though. One roommate gets the bigger room and gets the balcony. Is there anything we can change to make it fairer? Or I relay out the entire thing. Because this balcony has the stairs or the ladder up to the rooftop thing, and that would be lame if that was in a room. Okay, this seems fairer. But now I have a pretty useless area here. Maybe a second bath. One room is slightly bigger than the other, but I think that's alright. But we have 2 bathrooms now. So kind of every roommate has their own bathroom, if they so want to. I might like this wood better. I'm thinking maybe if I have the wood on this length go this way, it creates nice sectioning even though we don't have a wall there. And I do love me some sectioning. Yeah. I like that. Now that I have the floor, do I change the doors? Actually, oh yeah. Oh, hold on. All the doors go back in storage. We have better alternatives. The giant, huge room intimidates me, so I'm gonna start with one of the smaller rooms. We're gonna ignore that the floorboards don't match because I really like that blue. I'm building this during Pride, and I'm thinking I should incorporate some of the new Pride items, right? That's kind of cool. I also like the idea of this being roommates now, because it makes more sense with the narrative of having 2 businesses, and both of them aren't super duper, like, clearly not coming from money. They're a tiny bit rundown or made to be cheap. And I think it's just, you know, two best friends who had visions, but each of their money wouldn't have been enough to pay for each of their visions. but together they can do it. And if we are roommate situations, it might even be two couples or a couple and one friend or whatever. Like, you can up the amount of adults who are able to pay for this, and it makes more sense with the size of the apartment, because why, if you're so stripped for money, can you afford this kind of apartment? Now we solved it. And I'm realizing I'm doing the classic sitcom cop out for why these broke people are living in New York City in great apartments. I think I like the genderqueer flag with the blue. The blue is a nice muted background color for this, so the colors still pop, but it's not overly annoying in the color scheme. And I do want to keep the background. I do like this wallpaper. So this Sims gender identity brought to you by me wanting to keep this wallpaper. Listen, we never know when and how we realize things about ourselves. It may be a wallpaper, and that is totally okay. I don't know where to place this yet. But it's also maybe gonna give me some direction for the colors. I can see like a little desk or reading nook here, or potentially both, if I can squeeze it. Okay. I do think it's beautiful if you have that kind of view, that you have your desk there. Okay, I have a few options here. I think I'll pick one once I have the desk chair, because that will make a difference for sure. And I also think I'm gonna sort the two to the hobbies. I think I'm gonna make this one the tattoo one, because I don't want a big computer in this room. And I think the arcade roommate will have a bigger computer. Okay, I am no longer feeling the wall color. I normally wouldn't want to go too tone and tone, but also it not being tone and tone annoys me too. I don't want to go super girly pop with the wallpaper. So. Although the color combo, like that does work for me, but it's too girly pop. I don't see that here. Much better. Oh yeah, way. Great, let's have a little dungeon here. Okay, I've decided to go neutral beige walls. It's the most boring option, but I think it leaves me most space to go wild with the colors of the furniture, which is what I intend to do, to be a little bit quirky in that. Now I can go on with the rest of it. This has a good width because it just closes basically with the window. That's great. Oh, look how perfect. This is exactly... A little bit of purple, maybe? I don't know. I'm not into the stripes. Maybe this. This is not as cuddly as I wanted it to be, ideally, but it matches the color vibes. Maybe one of those mood lamps, but also making it smaller a little bit. I know that makes it shine crazy, but I don't care. Maybe this is for a couple. If it's a couple, it makes it fairer that the room is bigger. Oh right, we can also use this bed. This is technically the matching one to the flag we have. I don't know if I want this in this space, because I have more muted colors going on in general. And also I don't like things to be too matchy-matchy. Actually, the rainbow one, kinda cool with our overall theming. Now, since this is a single sim, I decided this can be to this side. To offer up more space, to make it less cramped and crowded. I think I like that. Problem is the wood color of the bed right now. Maybe this works because it has some of the shapes, like the diagonal and the circle. Maybe this works despite not being the correct wood color for the bed. Is that too much? I'm worried it's too much because of the shelf there and then this here. But maybe if I break it up with a mirror, it's fine. I've pretty much a lack of green right now because none of the greens satisfy me. I want more green. Few flowers always help. Whenever I'm unsure about a space, flowers always help it. Without fail. How about I just make my own rug? Kind of like the cow print. Am I insane? Could I be insane? I'm potentially insane. But I really like the cow print. I'm going to do it with the cow print. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the cow print. It just somehow works. I'm not questioning it. Maybe I'll get a kind of neutral in the back kind of curtain. And one is drawn close and one is drawn open. Why it's not even close to the curtain? Why does the curtain cut it? Okay, whatever. In my mind, this is the person who owns the arcade, so I want some gaming stuff. I was initially thinking gaming console, but the way I layouted this doesn't necessarily give me space for a television in the way that I would want it to be. So maybe I just use the decoration from Little Simsy's Cozy Gamer pack and just make it look like a PC gaming setup. Initially I said I want to make this the tattoo room, and then because I didn't want a big computer here to block the view, and then have this one be the arcade roommate. But now I've decided this is the bigger room and it's gonna be the couple and it's gonna be the tattoo, because the tattoo is also the bigger place, so it feels just like the person who pays a little bit more takes up a little bit more space. Which now means I have to abandon my plans of having a tiny computer, kind of, because gaming on a laptop can be done, but it's also a little bit tedious. I don't know. Let's see. I love when I change my mind. It doesn't even fit. Is it this? Okay. Okay, different lamp then. We can have that lamp here. But it's a way also to introduce more green, which is maybe good. And it's not that in the way of the nice view. Hopefully. Oh god. It's okay. Kinda don't want it matchy-matchy, so this one is actually kinda good. I think a sci-fi book. Ooh, a tower is good too. We put this on top of the tower. This is also a nice way to reintroduce some of the darker wood from the bed. That's nice. Maybe collecting keyboards. That's a thing people do. Oh, this is also new and looks good, right? What colors does that come in? Because I was looking for a kind of like a place where you can hang your shit when you enter the room. This is also from the Pride update. This is the exact correct wood color, and it's also the green and purple swatch. Okay, I guess we have to. But I need to add something that's not green and purple onto this, or else it becomes too matchy-matchy for my liking. Maybe one of the freezer bunnies, or something that looks like a collectible. A collectible would fit the vibe, I think. Bubbles. Bubbles is cute. I want bubbles somewhere. These little things. Still feels very uniform in color. There's something about these pigeons that I like for this room. Okay, I really like the pigeons on the bed. That's perfect. And I want some gaming posters. Okay, little poster wall, why not? This gives me youthful vibes. This is actually on the verge of becoming a teen's room, but there's just plenty of adults who like that vibe. So it's pretty much the color of the bed. So I'm wondering if I can just, you know, close it off to the side here. Have a little faux shelf. No, I think I like that. I think that adds a little bit, and I can now place stuff here so that section of the wall doesn't look so empty. I mean, it did nothing for the wall. Oh, no, that's a lie. It did a little bit for the wall. because it's kind of following the direction. And maybe some real decor, like a picture that has a frame. Maybe that helps. Breaking up the color scheme a little bit. Taking away the color scheme here, but adding it here. It makes sense, because I'm really just looking to balance it out. And maybe we can add a fun light. This instead of a desk light, because I have no space for a desk light. Because it's not blocking a lot of the view. Also gonna have one of these here. Just to have a little blocker if you're sitting on the couch. Then you have a kind of section. You have this living room. Bubbles the Beloved can live on our wardrobe. There we go, and I think that's the first room done. I really like it. I really think it does have personality, and it tells us about the sim living here and what they like, and definitely also tells us this is where the arcade sim lives, even though originally I planned for this to be the tattoo room. I'm happy it's not. The tattoo roommate, I have decided is gonna be 2 roommates. It makes sense to split up the rent 3 ways. It's just what I feel is true. And we can try to get a few of the vibes of the tattoo studio in. A little bit industrial, a little bit cool, dark, slightly like 80s trash rock. And I wish this wall would come in a bit more fun colors, because I'm thinking of having like accent. Maybe a black accent wall, because it's clearly already painted over brick, right? I do want some structure. I'm not a huge fan of accent walls IRL, believe it or not, even though I use them so much in The Sims. But it just helps Sims build so much. And we could go a little bit trashy. As I said, they do have some kind of like trashy 80s vibe, specifically here, for example. We could double down on those. We could make it a little bit hair metal. And then maybe like an office nook here. Maybe with 2, because we have 2 people. Like one long thing, because these are supposed to be the IKEA modular ones, so you can just make one long desk out of it. For you and your partner, in this case, for example. Maybe they have open storage for clothes. Maybe a little bit more of the brown so the bed isn't all alone. This mirror is a total callback to the bed. And the reason I put the mirror on that wall is that I want a bookshelf on this one. But we'll have to see if I like it or not. See, no I don't. Which is why I will move the mirror over, actually. So it's less crowded here. And then I will just put books onto this. That's a good bookshelf, I think. This looks like a cool couple's working desk. when I add a little bit more clutter on it, it will be really perfect. And I have a little bit of skill building here as well with the tablet that you can draw on. It's good. I'm having such difficulty with rugs lately. I think this one might work. On the one hand, I would like to center this around the bed. On the other hand, that looks absolutely garbo with the desk. So I think I rather center it around the room. I can center it around the room in a way that still looks intentional, with a symbol like coming off there, slightly geometrical. Oh, that's nice. I could use these as sunken in lights for the nightstands. Okay, I think that's kind of cool. Actually, maybe not this lamp, but that lamp. Okay, I don't know why I started with the lights first, but I have lights now. This could actually go in here pretty well. This has the industrial charm. This is very close to the wall color, which I like, because the shelf sticks out quite a bit, and that way it becomes a little bit less in your face. I think a plant is also needed, because this is kind of like a dead corner. And a smaller plant here. That's a good shelf. That's good wall decor. Yeah. Second room done, I think. Now we can move on to the more common parts of the build. We could start with a kitchen. I want to use the backsplash. I don't know anything else yet, but I know I want to use the backsplash. Now, since this is an open space, I want a fairly neutral wall color, maybe. I think I want this one because I at least want some visual interest. Okay, but then I start with the kitchen. I want the new fridge from the kit. I don't care about anything. The fridge is just perfect. It has stuff on it. I love that so. And we have this new sink that I also used in the tattoo shop with the stuff in the sink. I want to use it again. I think it's so cool. And I think since everybody is running a business, they need some ways to make quick meals. So a microwave would be appreciated. And then we could think about giving the floor tiles in this area. I don't know if I like it. Maybe if I put a, like, divider or short wall there. Actually, an apartment trash can would be great here. It's great for this space. Ooh, I do hate open floor plans. I find it so hard to structure them. Because this would be also a great place for a living room. But then I would have dining here and the kitchen here. Is that weird? I don't know. Alternatively, I think that makes me more comfortable, even though I just didn't even style it yet. Then it's less weird to have dining here, because you enter the kitchen through here. And it's less weird to have the living room here, because it's a secluded space. In my mind, at least. I just want to see if it works before I really style stuff. I guess. I'll take a little break now and we'll see. Okay, I have returned and I think I'm gonna go with this layout. Obviously not with this furniture or with this beautiful wallpaper. But yeah. I had the thought to maybe use the backsplash here because it should be the exact correct height. That's kind of cool, and I could even use it here. Would be a way to bring the kitchen back into the space. Maybe a round pillar, but it only works in this middle pillar. Do I like it without pillars on the side? No. Maybe? This could be an industrial touch. Now that could be cool. Although here, that part annoys me. Use white maybe. Works, I think. I had hoped I could build myself a little fort here. Not with those at least. But my second idea was to have a tall bookcase, but then one that's open, so you still have the benefits of the open floor plan, but you have a little bit of separation and privacy still. But I don't know if this one is right. It's really hard to make this look filled, but also not too expensive, but also fitting for both the very highly different aesthetics we're having going on here. I'm so unsure and indecisive. Who's surprised? That's so unlike me. I hate everything. I will eventually end up with a living room. I'm sure of it. Has to happen at some point. Is that better? Because it feels better. It feels a little better. It feels a little bit more on purpose, at least. Maybe a round table to the side here. Because then it's not so many harsh geometrical lines clashing and we still get a table there. We leave this as a walkway. And I think there's still a half tile for them to walk through there too, so should be working. I feel like these mirror each other too much. I can't help it. It's too weird. Everything is too weird. That looks too expensive. Otherwise, I would like it. I still hate every single stupid coffee table. I'm just trying to avoid it, if I'm being honest. This would probably be cool up here as well, but I already used it in the tattoo studio. Question is that so bad? Because alternative interpretation is that they just had a few of these and used them as couch tables, which could, again, tune it down a little bit. Because we can't appear too rich and we are about to appear so rich. It's so rich. I'll use this one. It's gonna drive me insane if I don't pick one now. You have no idea. I've been at this for like nearly an hour. It's no longer funny. Need something slightly more edgy. What if we scoot all of that over a little bit? That could help us make it look less severe. Okay, this is smaller now, but I think that helps. Does it help? Do we now use the round one? I think so, because the long table is too much grand dining. I don't know if I want the simple dining table or this in a more rustic tone to kind of dress it down a little. Because this is fancier, but it's more rustic, thus less fancy. Maybe just black to give it a little bit more edge, because we are lacking the edge still. Okay, I think it works. I think it works. We're back on track. We're back on track. I know you were all worried, but I got back on track. Eventually. All you needed to do was trust me a little. Off track again, because I hate all rugs. I think The Sims could have about 500 more rugs, and I would still always scroll around the rugs and go, oh, we just don't have enough rugs. Pew pew. So I want there to be a little bit of an entry section here, I guess. And then we have a whole lot of here. Maybe a bookcase, because we're lacking a bookcase in the living room. And I mean, this is an open floor plan, so Fuck you, you're a living room now. Quick question. Stupid or cool? I'm gonna go with cool. Kind of want to make this a less useless space between the two bookshelves. And I'm thinking light. It could then be like a passive light, sorta. Oh, it even comes in the correct color. I really need in-between sizes when resizing things. That's insane. I take it. And if we have the bookshelves here, I think we need a chair or something to read. By the window, maybe. I want to kind of balance the quirkiness of the arcade sim and the edginess of the tattoo sim and the industrial of the space. Not sure if I'm managing that quite right, but that's at least what I'm attempting. I mean, this is probably normally mounted, but we ignore that. And then this would be the entry. Every now and again I make random noises while I'm endlessly scrolling through here because I cannot remember where anything is or what anything is named. And then when I'm cutting the videos, I'm usually skipping to the points where I said something, and I have to skip through endless random noises. There we go, I was looking for those. Kinda like this. But then I don't have space for the key thing, right? Ooh, I kind of love the idea of having an old phone here. That's really tight. If I make that smaller, I think I can. I think it's fine to make it smaller. I don't think it looks particularly too small. I mean, it is, but I think at first glance when you walk past it, you don't notice. And I just trust you not to tell. The difference in the size of the keys is very insane. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's a little ridiculous. Fine. That feels absurd, but also, like, kind of. I like how improvised it looks. Like, somebody needed that and they didn't have money for something really cool, so they grabbed a random thing from Amazon. That's how that looks. Which I am not opposed to. It's not nearly as tall as I would prefer, though. Yeah, you know what? I'll do that. I feel like that's a controversial decision. And I do need to clutter specifically this here too, because it's driving me insane. Obviously, I need the fruit basket in the kitchen. I mean, probably a great place for this is here in the corner to, like, utilize this corner better. Oh, right! This also came with a kitchen island. Which we may not use as an island, but maybe for this wall here. It's actually quite a cool way to utilize some more space. Kinda dangerous to have the snacks, like, right where the couch is, but I also kind of love the idea of exactly that. And then you sit there and watch TV and you, like, slowly reach behind you. Definitely not a safe setup for me. Ooh, I want some textured ones. IRL, I prefer wooden chopping boards. But this scuffed up pink one is kinda low-key. Why not? The Sims can't have microplastics. But theoretically we have 3 counters where Sims can cook, and if we have 3 Sims, that is fine if they all want to cook together. A little crowded because they're all standing right with each other, but fine. I mean, we could maybe move this into the kitchen as well to have like a little kitchen rack. I was thinking blinds more than curtains for the kitchen. Not even necessarily trying to get a matching pride flag design, I just want something pretty for the wall. Right now this seems very pretty for the wall, because it goes with the silver. I want a seat on there. So I'm trying to figure out how to fake it. The problem is if I place this one, which I like the look of, if I would put it like this, I would really like the look of it. Like, that looks cool. But I can't place that because the sim would have to walk through the wall. So it's not practical. Now, that looks bad, but maybe I can fill up the bottom shelf thingies? I could also do with some gaming consoles here, since we do have a gamer in the house. I want something to store controllers in and stuff like this. And that looks good. Why did I decide to do the windows like this? Oh right, because there was a wall there. Because now it doesn't make much sense anymore. Yeah, that makes more sense. And also blinds there. I was thinking about closing the gap here, so it's one continuous line along this entire wall. Yeah, I think that is a good choice. I think I want a rather big plant there. Yeah, plant good. We could go with a fish lamp. Yes. Okay, I like the fish. It's also something you see when you enter. Nice. The whole way here. That thing is really empty, but I also don't know what exactly I can do about this. Maybe just something like that. Maybe that's enough stuff. And maybe, even though there's a door there, a shoe rack? Because I think that if you go out there on the roof and you have to take your shoes on, you might not want to walk all the way to the front. I think I want a different floor. Ooh, that's interesting. But probably completely falls apart here. No! Okay, here we go. And then I don't know how much I want on this balcony. I don't foresee the Sims necessarily using it a lot. It goes out right to the street and it's very narrow. Plus they have this. So I think I'm just gonna add lights. And then I'm feeling pretty fine with this balcony. Same for here. This is mainly for getting up. I can maybe add some crafting there. Using the one from the kit, because I think it comes in some cool swatches for this space. Some sawdust too. It looks like people are really using this. And now what's left to do is the two bathrooms, and I think I want them to be similar in style. So I'm just gonna do them side by side. We can have one bathroom with a bathtub and one with a walk-in shower. Ooh. As much as I like this, I think the glass partition works better. This is completely too fancy for everything I said before. I don't care. I'm just gonna say renovated it and it looks expensive, but it really is not. Maybe one of those house flipper things, you know, where you're not allowed to look very closely. Okay, this one works. Ooh. No, I'm not trying to sell this. Then you get this. Oh, that's exactly a match. This is the bathroom, basically. If we're matching this up to the rooms, this would be the bathroom for the couple. So, 2 bathrobes. And here 1 bathrobe. This needs something. Yeah, that's a great color combo for that bathroom. It's not the best bathrooms, but I feel with how luxurious they are, if I over-decorate them, it's starting to do too much for the story I'm trying to tell. Maybe I can add something that adds a little bit of untidiness and clutter. Simmer it down a bit. And then some laundry. Yeah, I think I don't want to use decorations, like any pictures or so that look too fancy. Like if I'm using pictures on the wall, frame pictures, they gotta be casual and cool. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. And when I do that, that means it's finished. The build is officially finished. So, instead of really touring the apartment now, because if I tour the apartments and then give a tour through the entire building as it is, this will take forever. Instead of doing that, I will do a few glamour shots to lead you out. And yeah, that concludes our build. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a cool build for you. It was fun to watch. I had fun building it. It was, however, really large, so I'm really looking forward to building some cute, small, teeny tiny cottages with a new fairy expansion pack. I hope to see you then, and until that time, have a great time. Bye!